that don't know, I'm kind of careful with string characters, especially when you do programming, because like you said, there's different kind of phases you can do. You can do the camel kind of phase on variables, or you can kind of like make it all capital letters, or you can do different kind of like wordings, or even you sometimes just forget how do you name your variables. So anytime I do anything new, I rather like make it in constructor so I don't have to rely on a string character. So for example, my variables here, this one I have lowercase, but sometimes I make speed uppercase. So I don't like that process. I prefer doing a nice constructor where I house or construct house all my strings, and then I can just call it in from another like a static class, and then that way I have none of that issue with string characters, which I'm gonna do right now. So we'll do create C# base string. So on my base string, then I'll assign it here, and that way I can just call it public static class, public static class, and I can get rid of mono behavior. Yeah, it's not gonna work on mono, so we don't have to inherit anything. And I think this is construct. I think it's like const or something. I don't remember exactly. Like this. Yeah, public const string, and I can name it whatever I want. Enemy, right? Projectile. Just makes things easier. Yeah, this is like a kind of like a tip when it comes to doing coding. So we can use enemy. We can use another one for public const string. Let's go with projectile. Right, projectile could be the your projectile, right, for your tower defense that you have. So we'll call it projectile. We're gonna call it proj, as it is on the tag. Right, and we can use this for other things. You can use it for, say, you have an animator, string character that you want to play, or sound or something like that. This makes it easy. That way you don't have to remember and you have to redo the string characters or the on collision characters. Because we, in game development, I guess, in Unity, I have to do a lot of these on trigger events. There's too many of them, I think. Right? I think, I would say more than often, I use all of these, like, where is it? On trigger enter. Especially on Unity. I don't know about Godot. I think on Godot they call it something else, another function. But on Unity, if you do something with trigger or collision, right, it's much easier to kind of like use a, if you're gonna use tags, just use a string, right? You can just use like a construct like this. Just makes it easy. So now I can just type base string dot projectile, and I'm done. That's it. Easy. And then that way you don't have to worry about if it's the right spelling, or did you put a lowercase on the tag, or was it uppercase, or some weird thing. It's gonna be saved there, and you don't have to worry about it. And it's here for this prefab that I have. Right here. Projectile. On this tag with Unity. Yeah, I like it. Easy. I never forget with mine. No, you forget, trust me. I don't know when. I forget string characters. They're tricky. Yeah, you think you forget your variables, but you do. You do forget your variables. Like, especially if you kind of come up with creative ways. Like, for example, here's a good example. Like, remember how Shulduck, I don't know if Shulduck's in here yet, but remember he has like mesh 1, mesh 2, right? For example, private bool, or private int, mesh 1, mesh 2, mesh 3, and then along the way you can get like a mesh lowercase, say private int lowercase mesh 2, or like mesh 9, right? That happens a lot more often than you think. It's not that you forget, you go, oh shoot, I forgot to hold down the shift, or my hands are tired, right? After a while your hands just become tired. By the way, I wouldn't do this mesh thing. I would do an array or a list. I would definitely not even do the number sequence, but just as an example, right? I would definitely do an array, or a list. I would, just as an example, like in this case, let's say you just have all these int variables or these string characters. You say, you know what, I'm just gonna name it whatever, mesh, and a number or something, so you remember. It happens. You just kind of like put one lowercase or like maybe one e like this, like me-ish, one uppercase e. Or if you want to go all psycho and just, you can do this, right? One M, an uppercase E, an S, an H, and a 9. Maybe that means something. Maybe that means something for you, like a chemical or some sort of a, you know, a variable use. You definitely want to keep these into maybe in a base string, kind of like this. That way you don't forget and you can just auto type it in, right? Just take advantage, man. Just take advantage of anything you can do so it's easier. Yeah, you never forget. I forget. I forget all the time. I definitely forget. I don't trust myself too much in that sense, right? I would say I'm not I don't trust my string, naming conventions. They're tricky, right? They're very, very tricky. Yeah, and you can do that too with booleans too. Say if you have a boolean, right? Now with booleans, I like to do this. I like to do private bool is, or lowercase is, right? It has to be lowercase. Or is ready. Or is monster ready. Even better. You guys corrected me. Right? So if it's monster ready, if it's true, then I know it's a boolean. And I don't have to think about it too much. You can call it whatever you want, but I seen this, being done on my work. And we do that too. We do more of a is ready sort of boolean sort of aspect. I like that too. I like that format as well. For integers, I can just do like whatever I, just name it. And then strings, I stay away from strings, definitely. If you can stacking strings like this. Private, right? String, for example, right? Mesh 1, mesh 2, mesh 3. Just go with the array. Just like make it an array. Or make it a, right? A freaking list. Even better. And then that way you can just update it, delete it if you need to on a easy string. I think that'll be the best case. Like say you get like your NPC characters, right? You want to name your NPC characters, or you want to name your, your players, right? The warrior, the magician, list, right? List is the best in that case. Array would be like if you want to heist, put in there like on a for loop and then put them all in there. That's best. So I like doing that. Right? Speed, all that sort of thing. Yeah. That's my tip. Programming tip for Unity. I think it works too. It works for Godot. Right? It works for Unreal. Or it really works anything like C# related or C++ related. Programming in general. A good tip just in case you have. And I recommend using that. But I don't know. That's just me, right? That's just a theory. That's a make theory. Anyways. Yeah.